Hi, my name's Kevin and I'm the Bad Back Gardener. Today's video we're going to be planting cucumbers. I'm going to show you how my setup is for cucumbers, and I'm going to plant some here today. It's about the middle of June right now. I've already got some planted on the other end of this bed here, and I will show you that. They're starting to grow up through. This is my way of supporting my cucumbers with some green fencing with the vinyl so it doesn't get too hot, and just some 2x2 pieces of treated lumber that I've made into a panel, and kind of just lean them off to at an angle so they grow. The cucumbers end up growing up through, and then they kind of lay on that and support. And a lot of times the cucumbers will grow underneath the panel. The flowers will go down as the cucumber gets heavier. It goes underneath the panel, and then by doing that, it lets it go straight, because it lets the cucumbers hang straight down, so you end up with real nice long straight cucumbers. And you get some, though it doesn't work everywhere, because you get some cucumbers that aren't completely straight, but a lot of times I can get some really nice straight cucumbers out of the deal. So those ones there are already starting to grow through the trellis that I made down there. You can see that they're coming up through, and then they'll spread out from there. Now they still always kind of get away from me every year. They'll start growing in the paths, and I try and tuck them in back up underneath into the beds and underneath the trellis and stuff that I built here for them. But you can't really help that. It is what it is with cucumbers. They spread out, and you can't mess around with the vines too much, because you're going to kill them if you do. But that's how I do it, so I'm going to get started on that. The first thing I do is I've covered this bed after I've prepared it with some mulch or some compost and mulch, and got it all loosened up. I covered it with black plastic to retain the heat and prevent too many weeds from growing in amongst the cucumbers here. So I have to cut holes where I want to plant my plants. Now today I'm going to be planting a couple cucumbers that I've grown inside from seed, so they're already sprouted, and then I'm going to plant just some seeds to get those started as my second wave of cucumbers from that up there. I'm just cutting circles in the plastic. And then I will add a little bit of fertilizer, and the slow release fertilizer, and then some soil or moisture crystals, soil moist crystals, to help so they don't dry out too much during the driest part of the year here. So for the first couple here, I'm going to plant the plants that I have. So I got to go pretty deep in those ones. And here's my two cucumber plants. One is Summer Dance and the other is Sweet Success, is what these two are called. Now, when you're planting these cucumbers in these peat pots, what you want to do is you want to peel off the peat pot around the top, because if you let this part stick out of the ground, it's going to act like a moisture wick, and it's going to pull all the moisture up out of the ground and around your plants and roots, and dry out a lot faster. So you want to peel that off. So you want to make sure all your peat pot is buried in the ground. You don't want any of that sticking out of the ground. There you go, and you can even take your finger and just poke little holes in the bottom of the peat pot just to let the roots grow out. Not that they won't, but I always do that just as a something that I've always done, I guess. But in there, I like to make like a little indentation, a little trough, so that they can, so it holds water around the plant. So when I water, it doesn't run off elsewhere. I'll peel off the top of the peat pot. Make a little break in the bottom. Stick it in. Plant it in there, make my little trough. I'm going to do the same thing with the seeds, only I'm just going to loosen up the soil, add the same amendments to it, and I will use some of my seed starting formula here that's a little bit nice, a little bit finer to cover the seeds with. I tend to have more luck than covering them just with the dirt out of the garden. You can do either way. My dirt's probably fine enough as it is that I can cover them, and I've done it before and I've had good luck with it, but habits say that I cover it with my seed starting formula. Cover it with a little bit of the, put a little bit of the fertilizer in, and then a little bit of the water crystals in it, and then I will mix it up, flatten it out a little bit, make a little indentation again. Take my cucumber seeds. This one is called Tasty King. I usually plant about two to three seeds per section here, per hole. Put those in there. Take some of my seed starting formula. Just cover lightly with those. I have some water over here. I'm going to water those in. I water all these. Make sure you give them a good watering as you plant them. Don't rely on Mother Nature to give them water if you can at all help it. And then I'm just going to plant the rest of this bed with cucumbers, and hopefully we'll get my second wave of cucumbers going good. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Catch up with me on Facebook. You can also email me at bbgardner@zoominternet.net. And as always, if your back ain't hurting, you ain't working.